Let's talk about buttered sausages. Let's talk about buttered sausages. What's it doing? Where's it come from? What does it do? Get it out of my face.
This video is going to revisit a older build and see how powerful we can make it this season with some of the artifact mods. This build was done with no Praxic Blade, but you could use it with Praxic Blade. I am talking about the pure Stasis Titan Stasis Slide build on Icefall Mantle. Aspects and fragments. Glacial Quake. Barricade won't matter. Glacier Grenade, because you can count that as an actual third melee, technically, because you get Stasis Shards from Glacier Grenade Crystal. Aspects is Howler Storm for Stasis Slide. You do a lot of stuff with Stasis Shards. And Tectonic Harvest gives us Frost Armor via Stasis Charge pickup. It's OP, this combination. It's basically the Consecration Titan but for pure Stasis. I am using Whisper of Rime for enhanced Frost Armor. I am doing increased melee energy regeneration. It is minus 20 melee, but it's worth it. Whisper of Hunger. Whisper of Conduction I really do like because the shards track you. This is how I like to play it, because that is really good. That. And Whisper of Fissures has that burst damage. Yeah. It increases the damage and size of the burst of stasis. This is imperative that you put that on. Right? Icefall Mantle, let's remind ourselves what it does. So when you've got a stasis super equipped, rapid stasis fire blows grant Frost Armor. You heal a small amount whenever you gain Frost Armor. Replaces your class ability with a burst of stasis energy that freezes nearby combatants, slows nearby opponents, and grants you increased Frost Armor. You're going to get Frost Armor and Health Regeneration via Stasis Shard, because Stasis Shard will give Frost Armor. Frost Armor gives Stasis Shard. Stasis Shard gives Frost Armor. That gives Icefall Mantle. Yeah? That then has the playback loop of also then getting melee energy to keep Stasis sliding. Now this build has gotten more powerful, even though it got nerfed. Basically what Bungie did is that when you're in Glacial Quake, when you're using Howler Storm, you have less charges to use it and the super regeneration runs out quicker, but that doesn't matter that much, to be honest with you, because the neutral gameplay of the build is still OP as hell. Now the reason why this build is actually a little bit more powerful than what it was is because of 2-piece Sage and Void mods. We can give Stasis Titan a reliable way of getting Devour. That revolves around Power from Pain and Singularity Blade. Now these two mods, right, can give Devour to any build, and we're using the OP Icebreaker for Shatter and Ignition, right? It's so powerful. I mean, if you're sick of Praxic Blade, well then whip out Icebreaker then. Stop complaining about it and then make the move. I see so many of you keep saying, I'm sick of watching Praxic Blade, but yet you're LFGing with Praxic Blade. You're LFGing with Praxic Blade, but yet you don't want to watch people use Praxic Blade. Is that not hypocritical? I think it is. Whip out Icebreaker then. Whip out Icebreaker. Right? It's so OP on this build. Gives basically infinite ammo, basically. Based on Glacier. You know, when you get your hit on the Glacier or a frozen target, you get ammo back. Now this weapon here, you can pick it up from the tower, from the monument. I recommend anyone who hasn't got it, you buy it. If you use it with Repulsor Brace and the Destab rounds, you will get a Void buff. You will get a Void Overshield, right? Grants a Void Overshield. I recommend you use it with Destab rounds where you've got to, because you need a Void debuff target. This debuffs targets, right? That will then work with Singularity Blade. Once that procs, you then proc Power from Pain from getting free kills with sword or melee, and it technically does in some cases work when you're doing your melee kills with Icefall Mantle, but it is a bit funky. The more consistent ways of doing it is using a Void Sword with Repulsor Brace and Bulwark. Now this is where Bulwark Finisher is very powerful. As I said the other day there, Bulwark Finisher is powerful, but on some builds it's not. Some builds it is. Now on this one it is, because we are using a mod called Elemental Charge. Every time you pick up a stasis shard, you will get you will get armor charges. When you spend 3 armor charges, you get your void overshield. So you're going to always be able to have an option to get an overshield, which therefore gives opportunity to get 3 quick kills with a repulsor brace sword, yeah, to then proc devour, and then you can go on a devour chain kill, for example. Okay, so those are the armor mods, right? I'm not going to go too much into that, right? But we are using a lot of surges and fonts. So the font will buff up our class stat a little bit. We're not using max class stat, but I'm using high melee, high super, moderate weapon stat. I'm using 2-piece Sage, which you can spam the class ability of Icefall Mantle with a sword. So you can do actually DPS rotation with just using sword. So this build is a sword build and a stasis melee build all in one. You will see in the gameplay. 2-piece Sage, and I'm using 2-piece Ferropotent. However, 2-piece Sword Masters would be better. I haven't got the stats for it. I still need more sets, but what else can I do, lads? I'm 998, and I'm absolutely peak sick of managing Vault. But I do need more more Sword Masters set. I'm just gonna have to start deleting loads of stuff. One day I'm gonna end up biting the bullet and deleting loads of stuff that I shouldn't. It shouldn't have to come down to this, but it is what it is. But that's why I'm using 2-piece Ferropotent instead of 2-piece Sword Masters. I need to farm more on Titan, but I mean, I can't do everything, can I? Okay, so we've went over that. Weapons. We've also got a 1-2 punch shotgun hand cannon on. Aurorus neutralizer or Alanis Morissette, may as well call it that. I don't know where we are with these words, but that is the hand cannon. Trials hand cannon. 1-2 punch. Grave robber works well. Opening salvo as well. But that's the weapons, the build, the artifact mods. On with the run. Oh, and for the testing grounds, we did do it with Sunless Cell, Solo Flawless, Ultimate Sunless Cell. That was it. Extinction Revives, that's it. On with the run. Okay, so let's review this Icefall Mantle build, see how good it is now, as opposed to what it used to be like. So obviously we've got 2-piece Sage now, so we can spam the class ability element of Icefall Mantle, and we can do a lot of things with it, right? So we get a stun on the unstop, which we're stunning with Ignition. Yeah, we're stunning with the Ignition. I'll do a bit of combo between Sniper plus Caster Frame Void Sword. I get my overshield, look. I got a Void Overshield right away because I had 3 armor charges. This build spams armor charges, okay? Now, my original idea, let me just quickly tell you this, was going to be AC/DC feedback. But having done tests today, it's not worth it. Icefall Mantle is just better. There's just not a reason to use AC/DC feedback on this build. And that's what I was wanting to do. But then I 180'd on myself and said, you know what? I'll go on Icefall Mantle. I haven't played Icefall Mantle for a while, maybe 2 months. So I was like, let's see what Icebreaker's doing, because we've got Sniper's Meditation, don't forget, as well. So we melt that second unstop, we melt those odds with that stun, and the idea is, if you're somehow new to this build, you shouldn't be, but if you are, is to keep slide meleeing, shatter all the crystals with the Icebreaker, to get the stasis shards, to get melee energy, health regeneration, and armor charges, and to loop this process. You can use it for single target damage, you can use it for champions, and so on and so forth. So just look at the damage it's doing, it's really nice. I don't know how it exactly interacts with Sniper's Meditation, because it's been a while since I used Icebreaker. I don't think I've used it once this season because of Praxic Blade spam, right? This is what it is. That Praxic Blade's got a lot to answer for, right? A lot of builds in the game get side-tracked, or weapons, shall we say, because, well, Praxic Blade. Look at the damage that is. That's nice, that. It is nice. We get a Void Overshield DR, look, because we had 3 stacks of armor charge, so a Bulwark Finisher is definitely viable on this build. On some builds, it really is. Some builds, it's not. If a build suffers on armor charge, uptime, then Bulwark Finisher, in most cases, isn't actually that worth it. But a lot of Titan builds, especially Strongholds, and even AC/DC feedback and Icefall Mantle, if you can get Stasis Shards or Ionic Traces, Elemental Charge, right, then the idea of Bulwark Finisher is very powerful to get that Void Overshield damage resistance. And the fact that we can simulate what Buried Bloodline Stasis Titan would look like on this build is fantastic. We do that with the Void Sword because it's got Repulsor Brace and D-Stab rounds. This allows for Devour and stuff. Not that I'm going to have that up all the time, but you know what I mean. Now, look away, children. Look away, children. We're going to do the exploit. We're going to snipe it down. Look away, children. I swapped to Force Memorializer. Look away. You haven't seen nothing. What weapon was I using? It was the shotgun hand cannon, you're right. Didn't use one single scout rifle in this run, did I? No, I didn't. Forced who? Memorializer who? No, I didn't use it. I used a Lannis Morissette hand cannon. That's what I used. Yeah, move along, children. Nothing to see. Yeah. Shoot the 2 blights. Yeah, we're going to go in. We get weak. You get hit hard enough on this, you know. It's not equivalent to GM, but you get hit hard enough to justify doing a build and reviewing a build in Son of Cell Ultimate. It's fine. Look, we're getting hit hard. Okay. Now then, I go in for the unstop. Look at that stun. Look at that initiate. Look at that stun. Look at the rotation. Look at the D-stab rounds. D-stab round. This void caster frame. I mean, use lads, if you're going to participate in the dungeon challenge tomorrow, you need to check your caster frames. How many times do we go over this? And there's so many times people say, I haven't got them. It's free from the tower. You can go and get it. You've got to spend mats. I don't know how much materials it is, but go and check the monument. Go and check the monument. Right. We are on Subjugator, okay? Now, the only thing about Stasis Titan, right? This is what really does... This is what can upset Stasis Titan or Stasis builds as opposed to, like, Consecration or Lightning Surge, is that the Stasis Crystals can knock... Look, we're losing damage because of that. So, because of the Stasis Crystal knockback on bosses and mini-bosses, it interferes with damage. So, you end up getting less damage than what you would intend to get sometimes. Stasis Titan can be inconsistent. I get weak here. Can be inconsistent compared to Consecration Titan because of crystal knockback damage on boss. I think they need to remove that mechanic entirely. What's the point in knocking bosses, you know, all around the map? It's a silly mechanic in actual fact. Arc Titan possesses it as well. If you use Fists of Havoc, if you try and slam a boss, sometimes they go up in the air. Not a boss, but a mini boss. Yeah, they go up in the air. It's a knockback thing. There's a knockback effect. What I'm saying is knockback effects are no good. They serve no purpose to the game at all. Just get rid of that mechanic. It's just silly. It's fun to watch. It's funny, but it's also annoyance. Now look at what we're doing on this build. It's pseudo strongholds as well. Look. I've got my class ability back, so you can use it in a offensive sword way of swording a boss to get your class ability back immediate because of 2-piece Sage. So Icefall Mantle has evolved. It's gotten better than what it was. It was already really good. I mean, well, it's been nerfed and buffed at the same time because the super portion had been nerfed. I don't know why they hit it. They shouldn't have. It was a minor nerf. It wasn't a massive nerf. It just means that when you're supering with Glacial Quake, you have to make a decision between sliding or using the heavy attack. And in most cases, you just use the heavy attack because it lasts longer. But if you can get it right, the Howl of the Storm Glacial Quake does massive DPS if you are favourable with the boss positioning and your Glacier Crystal detonations. It is really RNG on that. Okay? But the neutral gameplay of it is fantastic. Now look at this damage. We get the unstop probably finishable. I'm going to use a super in a minute. I'm suffocating stacks 15. I pop super to reset that buff. Okay, then I'm going to go in for my slides. I might just go in for the shoulder charge. Sometimes it's better just to go for shoulder charge now on Icefall Mantle rather than, as in your super, rather than using the Howl of the Storm. Depends what target you're up against. If it's a big tanky ogre, well then use Howl. If it's like a narrow wizard that's on a diet, well then use just heavy attack and shoulder charges. Unstop is weak. We're clearing the room. Basically, Icebreaker plus Crystal is doing ad clear for us here. Okay, look at that. We most certainly have Devour. We do have Devour, look. You might not see Devour proc sometimes in this run because you can't see it. It is procking, just you can't always see Devour proc because of the tooltip. There's only 4 lines of text that you can have on left-hand side. Is it 4 lines? Yeah, it's still 4 lines of text. They seem to have not been able to change that to 5 lines or 6 lines. If you see any other online... I know this game isn't online MMO, but if you watch an online MMO like Final Fantasy 16, you will see the UI has everything on there. I don't know why Bungie can't have a better UI. It's still not right, you know. After all the buffs they did to this, the UI for buffs and debuffs still isn't correct. Sometimes you don't know what you've got up. Okay, now this Ogre is messing me about on this run. I get him weak. Yeah. I'm getting pushed behind me. I'm getting my composure hit broke. Composure's now broke. I'm gonna have to sacrifice a little bit of super damage here because I am weak. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to come back here a little bit. No Devours procced at the minute. Yeah, I have my Glacier. I have my class ability, should I say. Okay, we get weak again. Sword block goes up. So we do lose composure on this bit. Unfortunately, but that's okay. You can't win everything, Guardian. We can't be perfect in every single video that I ever do. You do realise I've uploaded a video every single day almost since Edge of Fate, right? I hope you realise it. You should be realising it. Look at this, we get weak. Look at the survivability though. Look at the survivability of the build. This guy really misbehaves on this run. My God, this was worse than on GM level. What's he doing? He keeps stomping. But look at the gameplay loop here. Look at the survivability. Yeah, we're getting bad RNG with the boss, but what's happening here? The build is working. Yeah, that's when you know there's a good build, right? Here's a thing for you, right? If you're having bad circumstance happen, but you're still not dead, the build's more than likely very good. Okay? Now, I was running out of ammo here, so I'm worrying about ammo a little bit now. Look, I'm 3. This is because I'm not running scavs. This is a lesson about scavs, but I went in all damage for Icebreaker. What I should have done is run Avoid Scavenger. If you saw the armor mod video from yesterday, you would know about scavs and that they are important. This is an example of it. Look, I'm 0 heavy. I have the rest of the GM, not GM, but some of the cell to do, and I haven't got any heavy. I've got some heavy now, but it's 10 ammo. I could have got 20 per ammo per brick. See the difference here? This is a lesson to learn for people who don't run scavengers. This is what can happen to you, right? Composure can break. You're thinking about ammo. Oh, I haven't got ammo for the next phase. What am I going to do? Boom, boom, boom. What am I going to do? Right? I have got ammo, but I'm saying that's the mindset that goes behind it. So if I ran this back, I would sacrifice a weapon surge for a scavenger. Because scavenger means more damage than a surge anyways if we haven't got ammo when we're using surges. Understand? Please understand it. I don't understand what's going on with Destiny 2 players lately. But you don't seem to understand or differentiate the difference between a surge and a scavenger and when we should use one or the other. That's why I made the armor mod video yesterday. If you haven't seen it, you need to go and watch it because it's probably the most important video I've made since Renegades launched. It's probably the most important, but it's the least views I've got on a video for the last few weeks. Isn't it ironic that the most important video that I make gets the least amount of views? Because, I don't know, people care and then they don't care, you know. Like, they ask for this stuff, you give them the stuff, and then it's like, oh, you made that video? I didn't realise. Oh, I did ask for it. Yeah, I forgot. You know what I mean? It's just weird how things work, you know. Whereas I make some other videos that I think that won't do well and do well. And I'm like, why do you use lads like this? Like, it could be something weird that I've done. And then all of a sudden, whoa. Like Riptide. I made a video about Riptide, right? That's my best performing video since Renegades, Riptide. I knew it would do well, but I didn't realise it would do that well. You know, the information was kind of important in there, but not that important, you know. But yeah, it's just how YT works, you know. It's just weird. You know, you think you know people, but you don't. Sometimes you lads don't know what you really want. And I have the information to prove it actually as well. It is a strange phenomenon, the Destiny 2 player base. It needs studied. In 20, 30 years' time, there'll be historians look back and say, hang on a minute, what was going on with the psychology of Destiny 2 players with the Bungie situation? What was that about? Why were they weird? Why were they such an odd type of race of people? Yeah, that's what they'll look at in the next 20, 30 years. Okay, now I play aggressive here. Yeah, we're doing our melees plus icebreaker ignition combo. Boss pushes, I use super. Okay, he's bullying me in a wall. Heat detection of glacial quake sometimes misses. That's okay though. I can't really do much Howl of the Storm, but that's okay because it's nerfed on super anyways. You get more longevity out of just using the heavy attack now anyways, as we've said. Boss is 30 HP. I finish him off with sword because I've got a banner to put in. So I'm not worried about ammo on this bit because I'm going to be able to get ammo back anyways. I did spam a lot of sword ammo in this run because I was wanting to get as many overshields as I could and really test the build on how frequently do we get Void Overshield. How frequently do we get Devour and what is it like, yeah? That's why I spammed a lot of heavy. Okay, get this unstopped weak. The amount of super regeneration is good as well. Obviously we've got like heavy handed on, it works. Hands on the helmet obviously works as well. We're making a lot of orbs. So you get lots of supers, of course you do. Okay, this little phase, I'm going to actually kill some of the ads. Just because entertainment purposes, just showing you the shatter and ignition via icebreaker. Since I made that video on how to get icebreaker solo, I think most of you've got icebreaker now, right? There's no way you're going to tell me that you haven't got it, because I made the video showing you how to get it. Is there anyone out there that hasn't got it and being lazy? Let me know if you're being lazy on your icebreaker stuff. I'm just interested to know. And another thing is catalyst. Some of you have got icebreaker and haven't got the catalyst. Are you being lazy on that? You shouldn't be. Anything icebreaker related should be done now, today. There should be no tomorrow, just do it now. I'm just going to leave the rest of the ads because we're just testing the build. Don't worry about that. Not bothered about the barrier grim. We skip him anyways, generally. I didn't have barrier hand cannon equipped. But I do have barrier sniper, but that's fine. Now this boss teleports every time you shatter him. This is odd. I didn't realise that. So did you see he teleported? He should not be teleporting. So the better way to damage him for this is just to icebreaker with snipe meditation. Look at the chunk damage. That's a lot of damage. That on this difficulty, that is a lot. We can be quite wasteful with our special because we're going to get it on the next phase. I've only one snipe shot, but I'm going to get lots of special when I do my shatters. Boss is sent to next phase. I use the caster here. Look at that with the D-stab. Gets a wizard half HP. That's really good. Going with our slide melee here. Again, he's getting knocked about. That's the only thing I don't like when we're playing on Stasis Pure, like I've said, is the knockback effect of Stasis crystals. That is the only thing that stops Pure Stasis from being pure competitive to Consecration Titan. Consecration Titan's still better because it's more consistent. But Icefall Mantle is still very powerful. I hope we understand how powerful it really, really is powerful, right? Especially in the right circumstance, on the right activities. Like in conquests, like Conquest Avalon and such in the past. Okay, I'm not going to shatter the boss because we lose damage. He keeps teleporting for some silly reason. So I'm just going to snipe him down, same thing. I use all my shots, all my sniper. Add spawn in. Look. As soon as we do that, this is a weird interaction. I've never known this. I've never seen it before where he keeps going invis. And it's linked to glacier damage. Crystal damage. Look, do it again. I'm a wizard. Look, he teleports. He shouldn't be. The way his teleport works is that he teleports after an allotted amount of time or damage dealt. We're not doing that much damage to him for him to teleport like that. Like, look, I'm sniping him now. He's not TPing. See the difference? It's yet another weird oddity in the game that I don't even know or understand or want to. All I know is that it's annoying. Because we could absolutely destroy him. We destroy him on phase 2. Phase 2 he doesn't go invis. Phase 2 he's going to get melted for this. Wasting our time. Yeah. Okay, we go in now. Do a bit of sword damage. I'm going to save a little bit of icebreaker. Just a few shots. Okay. That also, the caster's very good as a shatter weapon. When you use an Icefall Mantle, you've got to think of shatter weapons. What's good shatter weapons? Original GLs. Yeah. Shotgun hand cannons. Icebreaker. Praxic's a good shatter weapon. If you want to use these on Praxic, you can. I'm not using it because people are complaining about Praxic loads. It's getting rampant now. And I think I owe people to make a non-Praxic. It's not a problem for me to make a non-Praxic blade build, you know. I don't need Praxic. If Praxic blade left the game tomorrow, it wouldn't hurt me. As in, I wouldn't know what, you know, I wouldn't be like, oh, I don't know what to do now. It wouldn't be a problem for me. Okay? Some people it would. Okay, I get very weak here. The boss hits very hard on this difficulty, look. He's hitting very hard. It's equivalent to GM, that. Basically the same thing, honestly. There's little to no difference. There's little difference with that. Between this difficulty and GM, honestly, they're about the same. They really are. Okay. Somebody should probably test the damage resistance on that. Maybe I will at one stage. I might test the difference between Ultimate Portal and GM. Because honestly, they're very similar. Very, very similar. It's semantics. Destiny 2 players love to argue over little differences. To the average viewer, they're very similar, honestly. Okay. Look at this gameplay here now then. We can operate on that sword build now, right? Because this build is 2 in 1. Look, we can keep damaging and keep using Icefall Mantle class ability. Do you see the difference there? See what we're doing with that? That's why this build's very good. It's good on melee build and sword. It's got a bit of both. And I'm not even using Swordmaster's set. Swordmaster's set would enhance this build a little bit more than what I've got it. But I haven't got the stats, as I've said at the start of the video. Boss is half HP. We're chunking him. We're doing alright. Okay. Gonna go in with some sword because I've got 30 sword ammo left. Okay. Sword was very valuable on phase 2. Just because we can chunk him quicker, you know, right? Okay. Next set of ads come out. I use super. We're going to clear out the full room. And we nearly kill the unstop. Howl the Storm chunking. There you go. There's Howl the Storm chunking. Look. That's proof that it still exists. Just, it's RNG. You've got to have it exactly right. Look at this Void Overshield DR. Champion's half HP. Get a stun with Icebreaker. Then we'll get a finisher. So see that? Another Void Overshield. We keep getting Void Overshields. You see the playback loop here? Bulwark finisher. So now we can finish the boss off. So yeah, Icefall Mantle's better than what he probably was in the past. Even though that's slight nerf. Because you've got 2-piece Sage. Devour. Void Overshield. Bulwark finisher, etc. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you.